or I'm sure we'll post it, right? All right. We are live, and the New York Mets just had the one player in the history of the franchise since I've been alive that actually made the ninth inning not scary get taken by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Edwin Diaz to the Dodgers. I'm just going to be blunt with the audience here as we do this live. We're coming in fresh without full story and everything coming on. The facts are still coming out, but I think this is going to be a very fresh wound, a lot of anger, a lot of different emotions going on. We don't even have Phil on yet. Phil has potential. He'll be joining us. I think Frank the Tank may be joining us because I feel like this is a Frank-centric kind. The feeling of Frank might be needed today, as crazy it sounds. So, Kev, I'll start with you since you basically just got the news because you were recording.
I was recording. I didn't find out till like an hour later. I literally couldn't believe it. There's only one fact. As you said, the facts are still coming in. If there's some sort of fact that Edwin Diaz was like, I hated in New York and I always wanted to go to LA and there was no chance, that's the only thing that could even maybe mitigate this. Otherwise, this is an absolute disaster. And I'm not going to just freak out right now. I want to just talk about this logically because we're in an era as Mets fans where there's still a lot of Mets fans complaining after a disappointing season or two. And I understand that. My thing was always like, remember what we came from. And remember what the Wilpons years were like. So even when things are going bad, we have Cohen, we signed Soto, we've got Lindor. Like, we didn't get the result we wanted, but management and ownership are competent and spending and giving you a chance, and then you let the chips fall where they may. And the problem was with the Wilpons era, you couldn't even rely upon ownership and management to do the right thing. Basically, error. This is a situation where now it feels Wilponian, where it's like, how could you let this happen? And I'm going to try to stay logical about it again, and I'll rope Pete into this as well. Pete and Diaz, you're talking about relief pitching and first base. Logically speaking, in a vacuum, those are two positions where I understand an executive like Stearns would say we shouldn't overpay for either of these things. You can find power bats at first base. Relief pitching, as great as he is, it's still a crapshoot. We can try to match that production, spread the money around. So, like, that's where he's coming from. The problem is, like, tenfold. Number one, we're in win-now mode. We have Lindor in his prime. We have Soto entering his prime. You just spent all this money. You're supposed to be winning now. So none of this should be. You should just go sign Pete. You should sign Diaz. You should go sign someone else as well. You should be able to keep Nimmo. We shouldn't be talking about saving money and being prudent and all that shit because now is not the time to do that. Number two, I thought when I saw he signed with the Dodgers, I was like, okay, we're going to see like 5-6 years, 120 million. Because then you really could start to say you could logically, again, I would still hate it no matter what. But you could say, that's a bad move. That is a stupid move that you will pay the price for. And we're trying to become a team like the Dodgers where it's every year and overpaying like that is not a good idea. When you find out it's 69/3, totally doable. The length is amazing. Like Diaz probably will fall off a cliff at some point. I don't think it's going to be within the next 3 years. And to find out we went to 66, like you're right there. Why the fuck not just go a little higher or give a fourth year? It's not like you had to give a seventh year or a sixth year. We're talking about 3 and 4. Who fucking cares? That's the point of having Cohen and his money. And then third or fourth of all, I don't even know where I'm at on the list. You gave Devin Williams 50. Like if you got Devin Williams for like a $20 million contract, and you're like, listen, as much as we love Diaz, you really can, and I know Devin Williams has his low points, but like if you really look at the body of work, he's a pretty good reliever. Let's say, okay, we can get like 80% of Diaz on the cheap. Then like, I don't like it, but I can start to work with it. You paid a lot of money for that guy. Just save that money and give it to the fucking good guy, the real closer. Give it to fucking him. So like, no matter how you cut it, the contract was affordable. The time is now, and then the biggest part, and I know you can't operate this like this as a owner and a management. You have to like do your job and can't be influenced by the fans. But like, the fans need this. Like it's been our Achilles heel forever. It's ruined our lives forever. We finally got the answer. It's there, and we let that walk. Like. And that is just like soul crushing. Like, I have been a Stearns apologist. I've supported him. I've thought that he has some bad deals, but for the most part, he gets a lot of shit. And I still think there's good, but this is just like, to me, it's indefensible. And I know there's not much of a market for Pete right now, but I think that there's a world where if he gets something close from the Red Sox or somebody, that he might be fed up and walks. And then you're staring down the barrel of losing Brandon Nimmo, losing Pete, and losing Diaz in one offseason during an era where your window is supposed to be open. And the fact that it goes to the Dodgers, like if some fucking the Angels swoop in, the Rockies swoop in and just did something reckless with their money, and it's like, well, what the fuck are you supposed to do? This is almost like when like you would never let the Yankees steal somebody away. The Dodgers should be like right there, because it's a double whammy that you get worse, and the team that you probably could never get over the hump anyway is now that much better. I'm finding this is a hard one, man, even for me, who has been like all positive. And then you combine it with the casino news, which whether it's true or not, there's a lot of people being like, oh, Steve just did this to get his casino and he's happy now. He doesn't give a fuck about the team. I don't believe that part is true, but it's like all from the PR point of view, it's bad. And I don't know, like Stearns, to salvage this offseason, you better like go trade for Tatis and sign Tucker and get an ace. And that's the only way I would be like, well, okay. Otherwise, this is a absolute nightmare that is testing me as a fan, where I'm like, I don't know if I can dedicate myself to this team 162, give up like my whole life for it, while I know that they let Diaz walk for $3 million and they're penny pinching on Pete, and they're trading Nimmo for like this, what I hate the most is a lot of this, well, what are the next moves? Because, yeah, if we replace Nimmo with Tucker and upgraded at second, that's a good deal. And if we didn't get Diaz, but we go do XYZ, then it's okay. But all of this is like hypothetical shit that we don't know. So for all we know, we got to wait for the moves that are coming. If those moves don't come, we just had one of the worst off seasons in history, let alone at a time when you're supposed to be adding and going for it. That's the real problem. If we were in rebuild mode, or if these guys were bad, or the money was too crazy, but all of it's affordable, all of it's the right time, and at best, if you add some pieces here, at best, if it all works out, you're just getting back to where you were. And by the way, where we were, people are regarding as one of the most disappointing seasons in history. So I don't know, man. And fuck Eric Chavez for his stupid Instagram story. Fuck you.
I don't even know what Eric Chavez said. We'll get to that.
He just posted on a story with his laugh emoji and then when people say, when the report is like, we had some wiggle room, we could have gone higher, and the report is that he didn't come back and give you like a second chance to meet the offer, like, well, then you should have just put your wiggle room on the fucking table right away. Don't even give it and especially, I'm sure you had to have known that the Dodgers were the other suitor. So it's like, if you're negotiating against like the Orioles, or like, okay, we'll figure this out. You have to know the Dodgers are appealing. Like, if the money's even close, or in this case a little bit more, he's probably like, I can do that, win a ring, and go to Southern California. It's just like absolutely indefensible, man.
Kyle, your turn to unload.
It's $3 million, but it's also $3 million, and we were deferring all of his money. So you're going to turn around, you're going to sign Devin Williams before you sign him. He's already opted out. You know there's a chance he leaves. He's telling everyone it's a 50-50 chance that he's coming back in the first place, and then you go sign Devin Williams for $50 million before addressing him first. First of all, that's a slap in the face. Second of all, he does not owe you a second call back. The projections going into the offseason were that he was supposed to get 4 years and like $80 million. That should be the starting point of, okay, maybe we'll give you 75 for 4 years. But either way, you know it has to be 4. Otherwise, yeah, no shit, he's going to go to the Dodgers. They just won back-to-back championships. I got people in my mention saying, oh, you want them to negotiate against themselves and overpay for every free agent? If it's any other team, then you can say that. It's the Dodgers. Let's just say in a perfect world, the Mets come through and they make it to the playoffs this season. What team will they ultimately have to get over the hump of to get to the World Series? The Dodgers. So it's a double-edged sword. You're killing yourself twice. Not only do you not have the closer, but the team that you need to ultimately beat now has your best option. And I blame Stearns. I blame Partially, I think it has something to do with the fact that Mendoza's throwing him in the 8th inning. He's throwing him in tie games in the 9th inning. Like, yes, he wants to save opportunities because he's the closer. You're not using him as a closer anymore, and he's watching your manager blow out everybody else's arms. Okay? So in his mind, they don't have his best interest in mind. They're not giving him the best deal. And yes, he can go to California and win with a team who's already been proven and who makes the playoffs every fucking season for 14 years straight. Like, where in that logic do you think you can nickel and dime him for the first offer and he's going to turn around and go, oh, you know what? Let me give them the benefit of the doubt. It's not like he's a homegrown talent. He's been here the whole time. He's here for a cup of coffee. And in that short amount of time, he's been the best closer of my lifetime. And you could argue the best closer in the history of the franchise. It's insane that anybody is defending the fact that they didn't do what they needed to do to not make it a question. Right. He should not have been fielding phone calls from anybody else. It should have been, this is the offer. Great. Let's just do it.
And that talk about negotiating against yourself is for a guy like Pete, where you look around and you know there's really no market. We know there was a market for Edwin fucking. If it wasn't going to be the Dodgers, it could have been like 10 other teams.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, don't tell me like, oh, we didn't know, or like we didn't think that was a possibility. We thought we had the best offer. At the very least, you need to be on the fucking phone, and be like, is anybody else offering? Will like come like they're better have because I saw DeComo
people saying the tax implications of California versus New York, it would have ended up being more than $3 million. Again, we tried to defer all of his money.
And like unless the Dodgers came in at like 5-1-10, and you could be like, that's a serious chunk of money that impacts the rest of the team. If you're talking anywhere under like truly under $10 million, if it's just like 5, 6, 3, there's no fucking reason. Why have the $25 billion owner for this? Go ahead, Phil.
Phil, you're.
I mean, there's just to go off what Kevin said earlier. It's like, when they traded Nemo, and you talked about hypothetical moves that can happen in the future, it's like, yeah, there's a possibility you can be better from it. There's no hypothetical scenario of losing Edwin Diaz and upgrading your bullpen next year. So on December 8th, we're already knowing we're going to next year with a worse bullpen. You could add however many relievers you want. The 9th inning will be a worse scenario than it was the last however so many years because Edwin Diaz is gone.
On paper, like, yes. Okay. Let's say there's a world where Devin Williams is lights out, and you find some gold in the minors, and you do put together a great bullpen, and we get lucky, and Stearns is proven right in some magical world. Fine. Yes. But what his job is right now is to go into this season on paper as an upgraded team, and you didn't fucking do that. You might get lucky, but
it's automatically worse. It's just what it is. There's no scenario about it, and He just fumbled in negotiations. As simple as that. You should just put your dick on the table and said 4 years, whatever. Don't even give the Dodgers a chance to make an offer. And look, if the Dodgers gave like 5 years, 110, like you said, fine, whatever. That's a dumb contract. But
right, this is not a bad contract. This is not a bad contract.
When you see a contract, you're like, I would have done the same thing. That's more than fine.
Right. That's 100% it. And like, and there's just, I said before you were on, Phil, like, if there's some world where Edwin Diaz says, like, my dream was to go to LA and win a ring, and I actually hated it in New York because of XYZ, so there was never a chance, then fine.
What's going to absolutely piss you off the most is next March when the Dodgers say you're not playing in WBC because we signed you to this contract.
Yeah, oh my God.
That is going to make you irate.
I didn't even think about that.
There's either one of two scenarios happen. Either he doesn't pitch at WBC, or you go on DraftKings. We're going to bet Puerto Rico to win the WBC. Edwin Diaz is going to get the last out and celebrate.
Yep.
I mean, for real, like,
he's gonna pick up a new pitch. He's gonna learn the Mariano cutter along the way, and just be literally.
That's another thing, by the way. Like, there is to go back to what I was saying about like Pete and Diaz, older first baseman we've seen fall off a cliff. Bullpen, of course, we've seen how fickle that can be. But like, it's just it's just not the time or the guy. Like, what if Diaz is Aroldis Chapman? What if, forget about 3 years, what if he's got like 10 years left in the tank? Because in modern baseball, things are a little bit different. Like, maybe he's not even close to done, and we're going to look back and be like, we could have had 9 more years of Edwin Diaz dominance, and we didn't do it for $3 fucking million. It could have even been 110. If you told me they did like crazy annual value, 3 years, 100 million, I'd be more okay with that. The current money right now, under $10 million here or there, People always say like it's easy to spend someone else's money, but like it literally is easy to spend Steve Cohen's money. He just sold a fucking toilet for $10 million.
And the Dodgers prove you just buy players all you want, win the fucking World Series.
Right. Take $3 million from your fucking toilet sale and give it to Edwin, the best closer on the planet, Diaz.
Oh man. And I said this in the chat, the group chat. I said, there's not a number that won't piss me off when I find out the reason they lost, thinking it was going to be that 5-1-10, you said, Kevin. Yeah. We're like, all right, this is long term. We don't know what's going to happen after the inevitable work stoppage and that amount of money tied up. The fact it went the other way and it was a short-term deal for not a crazy amount of money. What is it, 23?
It's still a crazy amount of money for a closer. 23 mil for a closer is insane.
But it wasn't
when
like
you're the
30.
fucking richest owner, you can do it. That's
exactly.
a contract that only the Mets could be able to do and the Dodgers could be able to do.
Before the figures were reported, everybody in the winter meetings thought that they were like, oh, the Dodgers must have gone to 5. Like, clearly the Dodgers must have gone to 5. Because the word on the street was that he was looking for 4.
Oh. No, he's looking for 5 years.
You cannot tell me going into that negotiation that in your head you know he wants 4, so then you say you're going to give him 3. After, again, you just gave Devin Williams $50 million, and the first thing Devin Williams does is go and have an interview where he's like, every team I talked to said I was the closer.
I actually, looking back on it, I don't know if I said it in our group chat, but I've definitely said it to other people. When they signed Devin Williams, I think a lot of people were like, oh, this could be a great 1-2 punch. In that moment, I was like, I think this guy's gone. Knowing Stearns is like not a spender, and if you spend 50 on a closer, he's gonna be your closer in Stearns' world. And like I've supported Stearns. I don't know if I can anymore. I mean, I definitely can't anymore.
I don't think we signed another reliever to a multi-year deal. In all honesty, I don't think they go after a Robert Suarez or
no. But and that like I don't.
It's gonna be dumpster diving.
People are he's going to go after the other McGill.
That's more likely than
rebuilding the Brewers in New York.
Right.
We had a fucking McGill, and we kept starting him, and we knew he was going to get hurt, and now he's serious, and we can't even put him in the fucking bullpen like I've been saying for 5 fucking years. That's the way to rate him.
That's exactly what's going to happen. We are destined to always have a McGill pitch on the roster every fucking year. So right in the books, we're going to trade for his fucking brother, and we're going to get him.
I don't even hate the long-term logic. If David Stearns is trying to think like I'm trying to be here for 20 years and I'm not going to get there by overpaying for relievers and replaceable power hitters like Pete Alonso. That logic does apply, and I actually like that. I just like, can we start like beyond these guys? Like, get your closer and get your big first baseman. And then now for the health of the franchise going forward, we're not going to do that again. But Pete is, I'm a huge Pete guy. I keep saying I think he's Kyle Schwarber 2.0. I think he's going to keep going. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. But either way, he's like a lifelong Met. He's a guy who wants to be here. So just check that fucking box and be done with it. And then Diaz, while, the logic, I mean, the fact that the contract was so low, it's indefensible. But let's say you're trying to not overpay for closers. I do get that. But just don't start with this guy when he is literally the fans' savior. He is what we've always dreamed for, and we finally got it. And I thought, this is the first time that I really was like, there's no way Cohen and Stearns fuck this up. Like, it's a done deal. It's inevitable. And the fact that they're willing to let that happen makes me think like, well, they're willing to let anything happen. Like,
it doesn't help that like 2 minutes before Diaz signed, Schwarber went back to the Phillies because Schwarber would have been the one guy that they could have signed. We're like, oh, that's how you replace Pete's power, and you're not like blinking.
And you know what? You know who you're going to be facing now? Kyle Schwarber. And you know who got Kyle Schwarber out every fucking time?
Edwin Diaz.
Edwin Diaz. And that guy's gone. He's not here. Now, if you have another guy that can get Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper and Real Muto and all those fucking monsters out in the biggest spots, fine. I don't know if that guy's even alive right now. I don't know if there is another one.
You're going to make me look up what Devin Williams' stats is versus Kyle Schwarber, and I guarantee you it's not going to be good.
Well, let me tell you Devin Williams. And listen, Phil, you could probably talk this more than I can. This is what I know about Devin Williams. I know he was fucking awesome for a while, but I know he also is one of those guys that's awesome all year, and in the biggest spots, fucks up. And you know what? I lived that with Billy Wagner. I'm not going back to that fucking time. I need my blankie. Edwin Diaz was my blankie.
Yes.
I was ready to pay whatever. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be frank. I've been not Frank Fleming. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been talking. I can't even tell you guys. I've been telling this to Mayo, my Edwin Diaz president right here. I'm fine losing Pete. I was fine losing Pete if it meant we got Diaz, because I'm at the point where I just need my blankie. And Pete, listen, there's a lot of like flaws with Pete. Now, if we overpaid Pete, who I am not really in love with, I'm going to be even madder about losing Diaz now.
Yeah.
This is a complete catastrophe. And Kev, how many times have you said, like, we need someone to be like the fan voice to tell these guys, like, nope, this is what's going to happen. I'm telling you. Opening day, Devin Williams is blowing this. Bet it right now if you guys want. Bet it now.
Again, like when you're
also Devin Williams 2 for Kyle Schwarber's 2 for 3 in his career off Devin Williams.
If you're thinking long term and you're being logical and you're being financially prudent, like this is the moves that result from that. And like you should be that, but you also have to A, you're in New York, you're not in fucking Milwaukee, and B, there is some value no matter where you are in understanding if I do this, it's going to cause a fucking mutiny with this fan base. And especially if after I do this, another domino falls. And now we've lost 25 home runs from fucking Nimmo, 30 to 40 with Pete, and our closer. I will be straight up fucking honest. I will have a really hard time putting any effort or emotion into this team next year if all three or just two of those guys are gone and if those other moves that are coming don't come. If you would have, in the Cohen era with Soto and Lindor in their prime, I would have told you this is an impossibility to be, we're talking about like, he saved money with Marcus Semien over the long term. And
they took on more money over the long term. He doesn't hire
like you can spin it like, the average annual value of this or the number of years that. And at the end of the day, you're talking about saving like a total of like $10-15 million. Like
nothing.
So I'm gonna say this, and I had a little freak out. It's been boiling up, but I think I'm also at peace with it from another direction. And listen, if you came at Diaz, you said 4 for 100, and I saw someone in the chat say he didn't want 4. There is potentially maybe Diaz wanted 3 for a shitload and then hit the market again at 35. I don't think it's gonna be the case, especially because I feel like this coming lockout's gonna fuck deals like this, right? But let's just say that's the case. I do think there is a chance that he said, I think I just want to go to the Dodgers, get a nice offer from the Mets, do exactly what Yamamoto did. I'm going to have the Mets.
I think that's more likely what happened.
Then they need to say that. We need to know that, or make that story up and leak it to the New York Post.
But that's also a scenario. The Mets put themselves in a spot where they had such a bad season that he just didn't want to be here.
Well, that's the thing, though. He's going to shop your offer to everybody else. You're the first offer. Don't make it. At least push the Dodgers into a 4th or 5th year to make it manageable. Don't turn around and end up with the same terms, but you've just paid a little bit less. Like, that's the part where
you know what? Like the bigger issue to me is the fact that there was no, let me go back to the Mets, let me give them final offer, let me respect them. Like, he didn't give a fuck. And I'm not blaming him. That's his prerogative. It's more like that's the reputation of your team right now is like, oh yeah, I can, hey, are you sure you want to do this? You want to call them one more time? No, it's fine. I'm good. That's bad. That's bad, man.
And for a franchise where every player sings the praises of, they're such a professional franchise. I love being here. They're great for my family. Like, it just seems to keep happening that we're just being used as the bargaining chip for somebody else to go someplace else. And on the flip side, if we can't pay for these players, then where should we believe that they're going to bring in the Kyle Tuckers and all these other guys that they're going to go and get to fix this? It's like, well, clearly you're just doling out money and people are choosing a lesser option.
On the 1 year and 1 day anniversary of when they did shell out the money. Like, if they didn't go get Soto, I wouldn't be happy about it, but I could see a world where Cohen is like, all right, I have this 5-year window. We didn't get it done. I'm really going to blow this up and we're going to build this from scratch the right way so that this thing is set up for 20 years, but it's going to take 5 ugly years. But you went and got Soto. And so you were saying let's fucking do it. I know you can't sometimes fully tell the fans what your plan is, but this is something where I need more from them. If they said I know we got Soto and Lindor's in his prime, but give me 1 to 2 years to plan. And it's going to be ugly, but we have a plan in place. This just sounds like, I don't know. If you went into the Edwin Diaz, if 6 weeks ago, 6 months ago, whatever, you told me you can get Edwin Diaz for 3 years under $70 million, you would be done, absolutely done. The fact that that's even a question, what are you talking about? So the fact that occurred on this market And it didn't go like, oh, they're offering 4. I'm going to offer 5. Someone crazy's offering 6. None of this happened. It was just 3 years.
And we still haven't even upgraded. The worst part of the fucking team is starting rotation.
Right. Yeah. So and that's the real problem is now you have 2 huge holes and 1 big question mark in first base, in addition to your absolutely known question mark of a 5-man rotation. So you can even go get Tucker and go trade for Tatis and all that, and you still would barely get back to the level you need to be at, and your bullpen will be worse, and your starting rotation is still trash. In order to go into this season more optimistic than last, what could they possibly do right now?
Trade for Tariq Skubal. Simple as that.
I was just saying, it would have to be Skubal, Tucker, and Tatis somehow, and then I'd be like, okay, like we gave up a lot, but we have a new set of all-stars. And they're obviously not going to do all that. So, like, no matter what, I'm going into this season being like, last season was, by some accounts, some people say it's the worst season we've ever had, and we got worse.
Yep. And this was the quote I sent you guys. It was from MLB after Diaz declined his option. He said, like I say always, I love New York. I would love to stay in New York, but I have to go. But if I have to go to another place, I would be happy and want to win a ring. Wherever I go, I want to win a ring and enjoy the time. And let's be honest here. If you want to win a ring
and enjoy,
the Dodgers
ring and enjoy.
That's the Dodgers. Enjoy. LA, not if it's not 1, it's like top 3. And I'll tell you right now, winning a ring, the Mets, top 10, maybe. I mean, after last year, the thing is, like, Edwin probably enjoyed his time in 22, did not enjoy it in 19, has seen a lot of the ugly stuff. I mean, we talked about 23 being an awful year. We talked about last year being an awful year. That guy has had more bad years than good with the New York Mets. Let's be honest. Like, we'll throw out 2020, 19, 23, 25. Nightmare seasons, either for him or the team. And then it's, 22 was sweet until it wasn't. 24 was sweet until we lost to the team he just signed with and got his bag. So it's like, at the end of the day, I truly think he just didn't want to be here. It's like when we were trying about Jacob deGrom and what this and that. It's like, he just wanted to go to Texas, bro. He wanted to win a ring, which he did.
You know what?
And he got paid.
That's got to be known then. That's got to be out there.
It's been 2 hours. We're so like, this is definitely this. This definitely happened. And then, like, always, it's like every time, guys, like a week later, we're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
okay, so, all right. So let's say we find out that Diaz was was hinting to them all along, like, I really want to go to Southern California. I want the weather. I want the ring. I want the money. Like, I want to hang out with Mookie Betts. What number would you have been comfortable with for them to be like, here's a Godfather offer that you can't turn down?
For Diaz? I mean, 4 for 110? Is that crazy?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I would have gone so much higher that, like, even if he said, I want to be in LA and I hate New York, I think I'd be like, we will find a way to compensate you enough that you forget about those things. And so the fact that they wouldn't go to that, let alone 3 million more to get it done, is fucking nuts.
Yeah, and I like, if you look at the stats, you see he's starting to go down. He's 32. He doesn't hold anyone on, which he like. There's the little things about Diaz that drove us nuts, but it's like I said, that guy was my blankie. He made everything feel good, and if it was gonna like next year, he's gonna probably be awesome. The year after that, he'll probably still be really fucking good. And like, I'll deal with years 3 and 4 when they come. And at that point, it's not like he's just gonna die. He still could be decent. He can figure it out.
It was always kind of interesting how many times Edwin Diaz just throw a first pitch ball nowhere near the zone. Really makes you think.
Now, if Uncle Stevie wants to, pull up some receipts, he's getting into that business too. Maybe he knows some people,
Kind of
interesting. That's a part of it. That casino's a part of it, man. Whether it is or is not, that is going to be the perception. He just wants to do this real estate development. He wants the casino. He got it. It's going through no matter what. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
By the way, he has to put up $8 billion for that.
So yeah, it's like throw in. Okay, let's put that in perspective.
Printing money as soon as it gets up and running, it's insane. But like, I think also, which may or may not play a factor, there's no pitching coach. Like, they just fired Jeremy Hefner.
No, we have a pitching coach.
No, but I'm saying, like, he's not his pitching coach.
But then he's going to the Dodgers.
He's like, it's a whole new regime coming in.
Okay.
We didn't make the playoffs last year. We're not getting any better. We're not adding any pieces. You just gave this other guy the money. Pete may be gone. You told me Kodai Senga, my best friend, is up on the chopping block.
His best friend.
There's a lot of and
time out. Is that known? Tell me, Senga.
Yes, he's like,
is that true?
He's in his Instagram stories all the time. It's so fun.
That's incredible. That is, now I'm mad.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
some guy like Diaz barely speaks English, and he
Right.
speaks. How are they even friends? There's like a triple language barrier there. It's like you can't even have a common language. Oh man,
What is that movie Lost in Translation? That's Bill Murray and fucking Scarlett Johansson. What the fuck? I need to get these old Instagram stories and see all the shit they did as teammates now.
Here's the thing, though, and I'm not defending them in any way, but like when fans are like, we need to blow it all up. I know they meant not Diaz, but it's like blowing it all up sometimes means like things that you don't like to happen. Like if you want change, it's almost like when people want trades and they call up WFA and they're like, let's trade this scrub for this fucking Cy Young. And it's like, well, that's not how it works. So it's like, we need to blow this whole team up. And when I say that, I mean, get rid of all the guys I don't like and aren't good and put them together with all the guys I do like. And it's like, yeah, of course that'd be a perfect scenario. But if you want to blow it up and go move Nimmo and fuck with the core, there is a chance that might be coupled with a freak occurrence like this. And now you're like, I don't know. Be careful what you wish for sometimes. You wanted a different team in 2026? You're going to fucking get one, man.
They just said sources. Last night, the Mets offered 3 years, $120 million to Kyle Schwarber. Unclear if that was their final offer. Nobody's coming back. And by the way, they said that for Schwarber, the Phillies could have had an attainable fifth-year option and instead just gave him the fifth year to make sure he didn't go anywhere else.
And what did he get from the Phillies? What was their total?
5,150. And the Mets was 3,120. So the Mets was offer more.
Again, like they probably could have had him for a fifth-year option, but they didn't want him to go to any other team to say, "Hey, this is what they're giving me. I need a guaranteed fifth year." So here you go. Here it is. We really do want you. Like sometimes that is what it is. If you have a player and you're not getting the hometown discount, you're getting help raked over the coals for it. Like you have to put up more if you want me to stay. That's where we're at.
I hate to.
These guys talk to each other too. Like Diaz is probably like talking to the guys on the Dodgers, like, "Yo, if you guys have a bad game, what happens? Like, do you have like people screaming on the internet?" And he's like, "No, like we go to the beach and we just fucking chill. Like, yeah, you have a couple angry people, but after these like first World Series, everyone's cool. After this last one, we're good, man. We're good for a decade now with these fans." Or would you like us idiots who are losing their fucking minds an hour after it happens, and then every time Diaz has trouble, let alone blows a save, let alone all the shit, we got to bring in Mr. Edwin Diaz. I got to see his reaction now to see, hey, Frank, if I told you in 2019 this is how you feel about Edwin Diaz leaving, how would you have thought about that?
But that's also kind of the point is like, yeah, this fan base, we loved him last year, but you got to remember there was a bunch of years where you're calling him Ed Luz Diaz. And
also,
like at some point,
Frank's saying, St. Phil should be a ghost town next year. Frank, you're going to be there opening day. You're going to be there every fucking Saturday home game. You can't be saying, like, no one should go to the games and then show up to the fucking games.
I will
at
say
some
this,
point,
though.
you got to look in the mirror. Like, this fan base is going to be a part of the equation. I know it's more money and winning and stuff, but, like, if all things are equal or there's, like, a $3 million difference or it's like, should I go back to these guys or go somewhere else? And you can also think, I don't have to deal with that bullshit. It definitely factors in at least a little bit.
I don't think it's going to be a ghost town, but I'm telling you, records and all the shit that went on this year, and then last year happened, and then you lose Diaz and Nimmo. Like, I'm telling you, plan B here, and this entire plan that they're going off of, I mean, Steve's not stupid. He's a businessman, too. Like, right now, people are fucking furious.
I think, though, that like maybe that gives me more solace. Like, I don't think that they did this and we're not ready for this backlash. Like, I think they were.
As Straka reported, the Mets feeling right now is shocked. They thought that Diaz wanted to be back, but
who said that?
I mean, that's a problem. That to me means like bad communication and incompetence and like then you shouldn't have risked it at all, especially knowing like the fact that the winter meeting started and somehow the offer was in this 60-70 million when we all expected like 100. So you should have already been like, oh my God, we're already still coming out ahead from where we thought we were going to be. So just offer it to him. I mean, and that also makes me think that maybe there was some shit where like, I feel like you usually do pick up the phone and give a second shot or a final offer or something. So maybe we can like, say that was Diaz's doing, and like, what are you supposed to do if someone just decides on a whim and doesn't give you the chance? But then the counter to that is like, you shouldn't even give him the chance. Like, it should have never even been a question. So the Dodgers were like, we were willing to go to like 120. The fact that we got him for 69 is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like I can see a world. At least maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and I'm trying to see the bright side of things. But it sounds like Devin Williams is really good. And yes, there was a couple clutch moments that he failed. And like we know as fans how much we latch on to that. I feel like I've seen advanced stats that say he was very unlucky. What if there's a world where Devin Williams is an elite closer and matches relatively the production? Then like cool, but the perception and optics and all of that, we won't know that until like August of next year, which means we have months of furious fans and doubt and embarrassment. And it's like, okay, let's say there's a world where Stearns is right. Let's say Pete falls off a cliff, Diaz falls off a cliff, and the replacements we got are good. Like, I don't even want that. I don't want a situation where we piss off the fans and then have to prove them right. Sometimes it's better to just like do the easy thing, spend the money, and go, man.
But the most important,
we still need another reliever.
We need like 4.
And a pitcher, and
the bridge. So now not only do we have a lesser closer, or Devin Williams is good. Like, let's not beat around the bush. He had a bad year last year for sure, but like he was just supposed to be the setup guy. And the reason he was supposed to be the setup guy was because the 2 guys we got at the trade deadline, one of them absolutely fucking sucked from the Cardinals. So we gave up the trade pieces, and then we let him walk, and then we're like, okay, but now we got Devin Williams, so he can fill in that slot, and then he can help Diaz. Now Diaz has gotten everyone's bumped up, and we're still missing a spot.
Yeah, and the guy that we got from the Cardinals, it's like, well, was it a big city thing? Well, the guy Devin Williams went to the Yankees, and was it a big city thing? Because he's in the same fucking city, except this fan base is crazier than the one that he just left. And look, he was awesome to end he got really good to end the year, and he's been good. But like for me personally, again, this is like tattooed on my soul. Billy fucking Wagner was so good, and I remember we blew the All-Star game, and I was like, he can't even get the All-Star game closed out. Like
all of them, Benitez, and all of them are that.
Amelia awesome until he wasn't in the big spot, Like, and Diaz was the one guy who came through in the playoffs too.
The worst part about this is everything we just said about Helsley and Williams and Wagner. What's the bugaboo that might like fuck you up, even if you're a talented reliever? Is pressure. It's all about pressure.
Yeah.
And you know what there's going to be none of in Los Angeles when you're a billion-dollar team, and the worst case scenario is that you don't go back-to-back and win like your 4th ring in 10 years.
Back-to-back.
Like he's going to fucking chill. He's going to get better because he did all of that in New York with an annoying fan base after injury, after down years, and still rose to the occasion. Now he's going to be like, so wait, if I blow this save, it's not even that big of a deal. I'm not going to blow the save. It's not even going to happen anymore because he's going to be sunny California with a ring on his finger, money in his pocket, and a bunch of awesome all-star guys around him. I'm sure Freddie Freeman picks up the phone. Yo, I thought I was going to be a Brave for life. I came over here. Best decision I ever made. Mookie Betts will take care of you. You won't even, maybe you'll be the 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th. It doesn't matter. We're good. It's amazing.
He doesn't have to pitch against all those guys. Automatically his numbers are going to be better.
Right. Oh, my God. I don't know. It's like, and, I'll tell you what makes me feel even worse. Schwarber, 3 for 120. Diaz, 66 over 3 with deferred. These are very Wilpons offers where it's like, we were in the mix. We were kicking the tires. And it's like, there was no way Kyle Schwarber was going to sign for 3 years coming off of a fucking MVP season. There's no way that Diaz is going to, it just feels like we were in on it. No, you fucking weren't.
The Wilpons never did that though. Like this,
the Wilpons would never offer $40 million a year.
This is revisionist history in our head.
But I'm saying making offers that are really not legitimate and being like we were in on it is very Wilponian. There's no way Kyle Schwarber
tier 3 and 4 free agents. They were never marketing. They were never going for the top.
Yeah.
So because listen, if you want to be mad at Cohen, that's fine. I think we're all very confused and angry about that. I am not letting those fuckers get a glow up, posthumously because they fucking just
No, you're misunderstanding. I'm not saying like the Wilpons are bad, but making like hollow offers. So I would rather hear that they weren't in on Schwarber at all than you made like an offer that's like no fucking shot that was going to do anything. At the very least, make it legit and drive the price up like just happened to us probably. But like what are these offers? These are like Milwaukee, I don't want to spend money type Stern shit where it's like, yeah, I don't want to go too far. It's like then don't go at all. Go hard, go big or go home.
Well, maybe I don't know why I'm like trying to like see the bright side in this, but like maybe it's like Schwarber, you're buying a DH for $40 million a year. It's like maybe they're going to do that for the Tuckers or the guys who are like more well-rounded players. Like we already have, if Pete leaves today, right? And granted, that leaves an opening at first base. We have a DH technically. I don't love the idea of Vientos there, but like Vientos is just on this fucking team. And Pete, I don't want him at first after year one of this deal. Flat out. I do not want Pete. I know we talk about how he does the picks. Guys, this is the one thing about the picks. Every fucking first baseman with any defensive skill can make those picks like Pete. And I know Lindor throws it shitty. We're going to find a guy who's going to be better at that. I don't want to see Pete Alonso at first base after year one. If they have to do that because it's going to be a huge deal and you have to just not look like we just bought a DH because he hit a lot of home runs for our team and was a homegrown player, that's fine. But I don't want Pete Alonso playing first base, the defense at first base. And like to have Schwarber, then he's locked in at DH. That means Vientos is gone. And then what are we doing at first? You know?
I don't think the DH is going to end up being the sticking point for Pete. He's never had a big contract. This is his only shot at a big contract. I think if some teams like you can play first for the first year and then after that you're done. And
I think there's
$150 million. Like
because Juan Soto's our DH in 4 years, right?
Yep.
So that's the other part of this.
Yep.
I think there's a decent chance Pete signs like pretty quickly. Like I'm not saying this week, but like you saw what he went through last year being on the market for that long. He may take like the first or second like offer he hears because he knows he may not get better. He just wants. To, like,
you know what they should
exactly
do?
where he is.
Whatever that initial offer that everyone says he should have taken, make that whole because it would probably be like a reasonable contract, wouldn't it?
The 7 years, like 150, you turned down. Like what it would be at this point.
So like that was what 3 years ago or something, 4 years ago.
2023, yeah.
So like offer him 4 years for like 100 or whatever, that would get you to the 158,
and then he probably would just.
And then you're
that.
good.
Right.
Just get it done. I mean, it's just like you just ran the risk with Diaz, and I understand Pete's far less important, but it's like if you walk away with losing Pete, Nimmo, and Diaz.
Fuck it, I'm in. Fuck it, I'm in. Just fucking reboot it. Just fucking
Then tell me, like, if you came out and said, listen, guys, we were not beating the Dodgers. There's a work stoppage coming. We still have plenty of prime Soto years. We are planning, like, tell me that then. But to be like, we're so shocked, and now that makes me feel like, all right, you don't have a plan. You're fucked now. Your plan included Edwin Diaz, and you got so shocked that less than $70 million with deferred offer didn't get the job done. Well, either you're stupid and incompetent, or you're I don't know. I mean, either way, no matter how you cut it, I just think this is a bad look.
Shocked that the Dodgers just signed your player. Like,
Andy Martino, who we all hate, said that the consensus for the winter meetings, though, is that there's a larger plan at play for the Mets.
I mean, fine. Okay. But it better fucking happen.
Right. That's what he said. He said it's not the end of the world that they didn't get Diaz back because there's supposedly a bigger plan at play.
Tatis and Mason Miller.
If there's an ace up his sleeve and he like drops dick on the table, I will put my hand the fuck up and I'll say, okay, you were the mastermind. But what kind of plan is going to replace 25 home runs and a fucking all-star closer? And again, all of it would just be get back to the breaking even unless you go bonkers.
Yeah. Tatis, Mason Miller. I figured it out.
Get me Tariq Skubal. He'll pitch the ninth inning.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. But like, yeah, if you can do
to solve it.
If Tucker and Skubal, like, if I told you, would you trade Edwin Diaz, Pete Alonso, and Nimmo for Tucker and Skubal? Would you do it?
Honestly, probably because you're getting
Cy
Young.
Right. So like, then it better be something like that where you can confidently say that we got close to replacing those three guys' production. Then fine. But like, if you walk away from this with like another like almost like trade deadline type moves, like we just tinkered here and there. I really don't know if I could like. I always say I'm not going to watch. I know I'm going to watch, but I really will not give. I'm finding it hard. We've been talking about this for years now, Clem. I'm finding it hard to like really give all my everything when I'm this age and gone through what we've gone through. It'll be an easy decision for me if they don't have some big splashes. I'll be like, I'll keep them on in the background, but I'm not going to worry about this year. It's not happening.
I must say, I'm breaking the podcast rule for baseball season because I got a baby doing baseball season this year, boys. So I'm going to be checking.
Congrats, man. I mean,
bringing another member to this misery family we have right
Just
now.
saying, the only thing more tumultuous than this
Who?
goddamn team is going to be
Who?
newborn. So
Wait, you have
Sponsor
two new ones
Piper,
coming?
sponsor the podcast. Yep. Twins in spring, boys.
Oh, Joe Ryan.
I'm
Bringing the
opting
Twins.
back into West Coast baseball because I'm going to be up at all hours.
All right.
Congratulations, dude. Oh, fuck.
Today I learned Edwin Diaz is the furthest thing from Kyle's biggest issue right now.
I'm irrationally angry online at people over Edwin Diaz. That's the priority.
Yeah,
Oh
Jesus
my
Christ.
God. You sick bastard. Hey,
Oh.
congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Congrats.
And that kind of ties in what I was going to say next. And Kev, you said it, like, I'm just getting older. The Giants have made it easy because I am in my core. I've been alive for 4 Super Bowls, remember 3, and 07. I don't literally think it can be topped as a sports memory for a fan. It would be like 1 in a million that you'd have beat an undefeated team, best quarterback, best coach ever. At this point, I just get mad at the Giants because my son is loving sports and he's like so fucking crushed every Sunday. And I'm like, fine. The Mets, I haven't seen that as a Mets fan, but I'm telling you, dude, I told him about Nimmo and he was fucking sad. He's at school right now. And unless like someone happened to break the news to him, I'm going to have to tell him Diaz is gone. And he was like, when I told him Nimmo, he's like, is there anyone else who might go? I'm like, he's like, Diaz, Pete's going to be here. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. And like, that's tough, man. Like this is all part of like, do I want to go to the stadium today? It's like, if Pete's not there, it's going to be like, you know, I'm sure they're going to have someone to replace him, but like, you do kind of like grow attached to these guys as much as
I'll never hear the trumpets again. The trumpets will never be ours again. Like little things like that. Like my kids, Shay loved that. And like,
it's gone.
Baseball is your first heartbreak. And when you're a Mets fan, you got a lot of options for what to choose.
Baseball is going to be my first and last heartbreak. Like, they'll disappoint me in some way till the day I die.
Yep. Oh, and then they're gonna win the day after you die. That's the problem.
Oh, absolutely. If I ever die unexpectedly, bet the fucking rent on the Mets winning the World Series.
I texted you guys when Frank touched the play like a champion sign. I said they're cursed,
Ultimate
and then immediately missed the college football playoff. If Frank was a fan of any other team other than the Mets, I fully believe they had at least 2 championships.
They were minus 2,000 to make the playoff
Insane.
on Sunday morning.
That was crazy. He touched OG Anunoby's hand and his elbow like broke the next minute. It was
he shook Drew Gilbert's hand and he tore his hamstring.
And then of course Jack Hughes or whatever, right?
Well, it's not really a curse because he went on a date with Tate McRae like a week later, so he probably helped him out.
Yeah, but it didn't help the Devils fans out. That's for sure. So I don't like. This is all part of it, man. This is part of being the fan. And listen, this also drives. I'm telling you. Like, if you're Diaz, you have these offers on the table, and this team doesn't want you. And it's like, do I really want to have to deal with these fucking idiots in the cold weather half the season or whatever it is? And, like, this manic fan base that we have, or go to LA where I can win it. Like, we're never going to have a chance against the Dodgers. That's just a flat-out fact. We're 0 for 2, Yamamoto and him, right? And Yamamoto, who just killed the team in the World Series. Yamamoto won that World Series almost by himself.
He's the anti-Kodai Senga, where
Yes.
Yamamoto pitched on 1-day rest, and meanwhile Kodai Senga is like, my mechanics aren't right. That hamstring injury from a couple months ago still bugs me. Like,
he needs to know like what giveaways are happening between innings. He's like, when are we doing the hide a ball in the hat? Like he needs to know. Kevin just killed himself. Now we're down a guy. The Mets are going to win the World Series because Kevin just killed himself with a 2-foot cannon. Oh. God, well, the Mets have caught dementia. Yeah, we have definitely caught dementia.
I know we've closed the podcast this way before, but like where we joke about it, but like truly, you don't have to believe right now. Like if you're not believing and be like, well, let's see what's next, or like I still have faith in Stearns. Like you have every right now to be like, I do not believe. As a matter of fact, I believe the total fucking opposite. Phillies dropping money, dropping dick. Dodgers adding fucking bringing more sand to the beach. Everybody making moves. And like you're like, well, we're gonna trade for this second baseman because that upgrades our defense, and we're gonna shut the fuck up. Should do all of that and sign those guys.
That's the best part about the like long-term buildings. Like we just traded for a 35-year-old second baseman. Oh God, gotta believe.
You do not have to believe.
I believe.
Goodbye.